Ladies and gentlemen, today let's talk about how we go about finding a data sheet. You'll notice when we're working in multisim, sometimes we'll be in there, and we're going to go and we're going to have something like I don't know, maybe a 74LS08 quad in 2-input AND gate. These are the AND gates that we're going to be using throughout the year. We've got a giant bin full of them. They have 4 AND gates on them. And generally you should place in your simulation only AND gates off of each one. Now let's say we want to look up a data sheet for this, because once we've simulated this circuit, we're going to go and need to build it in the real world. And in order to build it in the real world, it really helps to know what it looks like on the inside. So we're going to come over to our instance of Chrome that we're running. We'll open up a new tab. And we're going to go ahead and we could look up our chip in 2 different ways. I know that I had a quad 2-input AND gate in my simulation there, meaning it had 4 for quad 2-input AND gates. I can go up and I can click on this link from Fairchild Semiconductor. Fairchild's a pretty good site you can grab things from. You can see I've also been to this data sheet on the FutureLec website. It's kind of an odd name, but they've existed for a long time. It's 100% safe to go to either one of those sites. Now pull down a PDF, and we're going to see that we've got this big PDF here. This is actually not that big of a PDF, surprisingly. For a data sheet, you'll sometimes see data sheets into the hundreds and hundreds of pages. I had a couple data sheets in college that were like 400 pages long. We printed them all out, put them in big binders. But enough of that. Let's get down to the important parts. Some of this information right here, though not useful to you now, might be useful to you at a later point in your career. You're going to get a lot of different information on the tolerances of some of the of this AND gate. You're going to see a lot of this information is actually not useful to us. If we scroll down to the bottom here, we're going to get all the information on the physical dimensions of some of the different types of the chip. You can see it's got the surface mount version of the chip right here, with the little tabs that can be soldered onto a surface mount board. This information would be super useful to us if we were designing a PCB, a printed circuit board. We're not, though. So we're just going to stay at the top here, and pretty much all the information that we ever need is right here on the first page. It's the connection diagram right here. This connection diagram is going to show us where each one of the pins are for those 4 different AND gates on the chip. It's also going to show us where VCC, so our power, and where ground come in. You'll notice it has that little half circle there. That little half circle is to help us know the orientation of the chip. You'll notice in the real world, on your chip, you're either going to have a half circle or a little dot on one side of the chip. That's going to let you know how that chip is aligned so that you can plug all your wires into the right ports. I hope this has been useful for you. I know data sheets may not seem like the most exciting thing in the world, but I'll tell you it's the most used thing that any of my students learn about in DE. Pretty much everyone who goes through DE will use data sheets throughout their careers. One of my former students actually recently texted me, and he let me know that he was now working on Bradley tanks. He's repairing Bradley tanks and Abrams tanks, which is really cool. They're very cool pieces of equipment. And one thing he has to do every day, all the time, is pull data sheets for his repair work. Right? It's not something he was expecting to do when he was in high school, but you know what? He was happy that he had learned about data sheets, how to find them and where to use them, how to find what was important on them, because he does it every single day now. There's a lot of information on here. For our class, though, we're just sticking to that first portion. All right, thanks for listening, gang.